I guess Vaishnavi was facing a network issue. When she will be back, we'll start in a minute. Vaishnavi, are you in?
Okay, so I'm back. How's my audio?
Yeah, Vaishnavi, you're audible. Could you just speak up?
How about now?
Okay, little better.
Okay, so
Okay.
let me know if my network is poor. I can switch anytime.
Okay. I guess we can start now. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to COE's exclusive pro bono sessions featuring Vaishnavi Murli Krishnan. I, as we all know, we have also witnessed many experience sessions and also many insightful sessions from Vaishnavi earlier. And today she is going to share her views on finding strength in persistence. I think, in my opinion, we should all acknowledge the insights of of these sessions since they are not only useful in our career but also in our personal life as to keep our mind and our emotional intelligence at a par and at a level to maintain the stability. So Vaishnavi, over to you. We are all yours to hear your insights.
Yeah, thank you, Prem, for that. And thank you, everyone, for turning up here. I'm so happy that you found the time to be here. I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm Vaishnavi, and I have been, um, you know, hosting these sessions for almost a year. I think it's been a few months, and I'm happy to be here again another month. I So for today, I have planned to talk about persistence, and to me, persistence was surviving through rejections. And when I was hunting for jobs, that's when I truly found out what persistence was and how to keep myself together and move on to the next application, or how to emotionally stabilize myself to be healthy so that I can tackle every single rejection that I get afterwards. So for today, we will be talking about how I'm currently working on a project and how I'm finding my strength through it. So let me just start quickly. So if you had the chance to go through the agenda, the first was the emotional toll of setbacks. When you first face the rejection, when you first put in the first application, or when you're trying for something, trying to work towards a goal, you might face the first setback in a first month or first week, which will be very immediate. It would hit you in the face. You will not be expecting it. When I first started applying, I knew that rejections would be common, but I have heard people talk about it online. I have heard people talk about failures and how to, it's not exactly failures, but the rejection, even when you're fully qualified, that hits different. It's not like you tried and you failed on your part and the accountability is with you. It's not, I'm not talking about that context. That can always be improved upon. And you can, I think at this point in time, we are all okay with accepting that I messed something up. So I'm not talking about that context when you fail at something because of your incompetency or you didn't prepare well. So that I think we can handle that. But failing when there is no accountability on your part, when you're failing for external reasons, when there are factors that influence the decision of an decision of a party, say a company or a panel or judges, any kind of decision making parties, and you realize that out of no fault of yours, you're being rejected for this position, even if you're fully qualified or even if you're fully capable of getting the job done, they still reject you for that opportunity. And you naturally start to wonder why. And the next reaction would be start to think that something's lacking in you, and there is this chance of giving rise to the feeling of low self-esteem. So that was my immediate reaction. Instinctly, that's what I felt. I felt very low, and immediately I started believing that I was not qualified enough to do a job, or I didn't study enough. Of course, there is always more to study, but in this context, that whatever I had done to work towards this goal, whatever I had studied, whatever I had worked towards, and how much ever effort that I had put in before that, none of that mattered because they were all negligible, and they were not up to the standards for this particular job. But that is very natural to feel because that is the first a human kind of thing that you would feel once you face a rejection in any context, not just in job applications or when you're like trying for a position, when you're getting promoted or any kind of opportunities, be it in job or otherwise. That is very the first thing I should have done is to acknowledge that it is okay to be rejected despite you being the best candidate, despite you being the best of everything there is to. I didn't do that. I was miserable. I wish I had done that. I wish I had had that clarity then, thinking back. So, my first, let's say, piece of suggestion or anything is to realize that it is completely all right to feel the low self-esteem then, and but know that it is not true. Whatever you're feeling about yourself, it is just a result of the rejection or the negative outcome that you had just experienced. So acknowledge your feelings, but also know as a fact that it is natural to feel the natural to focus on the negative qualities that you have and obsess over it and point it out as a reason for the outcome. So that's what I wanted to say for the first uh, part of it, tackling with the emotional toll that it takes when you're facing rejection. Once you know that it is not just you and it is there are other reasons that would cause this, and acknowledging the what do you say, the feeling, whichever kind of feeling that you're feeling towards yourself is temporary and it's not a matter of fact, it is not true. If you're able to, if you find the strength to acknowledge that, if you find the strength to know that it's whatever you're feeling is just temporary and it's not the truth, and if you can do that, I think that will solve the emotional toll, that will solve the emotional labor that it is, that the process is taking out of you. I hope I'm like trying to make sense here. I'm trying to put into words how I felt then, and I'm trying to relate it to how you could feel about it. So that is what I wanted to say. It is okay to feel bad. It is okay to feel the low esteem, but know in your heart that it is, know in your mind actually, that it's natural to feel like that, and it's the feeling is going to be there until you finally accomplish that particular goal or the project that you're working on, or the promotion, or the a job offer, anything. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share for that first part of it. The second would be redefining success. So I'm currently working on a project. I've been working on it since the later half of the last year. I'm not going to be revealing what project is that, but I set a goal for myself last December after a few months into this project. I said to myself that, Vaishnavi, you're going to take 6 more months into this and you're going to get it done. Whatever it is that you have done in the past few months, it did not work. And while I have had a few opportunities, a couple of opportunities to actually accomplish that goal, I wasn't able to. Um, Not because I wasn't qualified to, because of I was qualified. I was in the let's say the top 5 category of qualified people. So that's how it turned out to be. When the first rejection happened, it was very hard for me. I don't know what I did right to even qualify for that opportunity. I was just pitballing. I didn't know how to work towards that goal. I had no idea how to start, where to start, but I did something, and somehow I was given the opportunity to get the goal done. But unfortunately, it missed. I don't want to say I missed it because I did well well to qualify for it, to get it done. I didn't know what I did right. I didn't know what I did wrong. I was blind to everything. So what I did, I took it to Reddit actually. The good thing about being anonymous and the anonymity that Reddit would provide is that everyone's honest there. Whatever criticism you can get publicly from people you're working with or people you're from your family and everyone, maybe it might lack certain uh, uh, the criticism might lack a few reasons as to why you didn't get the get the position. But when you take it to Reddit, I'm completely talking about this from my perspective. When you take it to Reddit, there is this anonymity that people have that Reddit provides, so that everyone is like 90% honest all the time because they have nothing to lose, they have nothing to gain from lying or being, soft on people. They are always honest, and it has always worked for me since I remember I think it's 10 years or something. I've been on Reddit and I've asked for feedbacks or I've asked for insights. And when I read on posts from other people, they have always worked out for me. So naturally, I took it to Reddit and asked, feedback from the process that I'm doing and see if there's something wrong I'm doing or what's working and what doesn't work from people who have accomplished this in the past. So they gave a few feedbacks, but it takes a lot of time to actually incorporate those feedbacks into the process. And also, because it's a social media, you can't expect people to always answer you, and you can't always expect for a 100 or 200 responses. But at times when I actually got a lot of responses, I would take all those responses, I would like summarize that, I would point out all the actionable things that I could incorporate into my process. So that's the first thing I did. In the context of actually redefining success, after the two rejections that I had faced, since last December, I have been so proud of myself. Before that, I wasn't feeling this. I was feeling like this is going nowhere. I'm lost. I have no direction. That's how I felt. But still, I got those two opportunities. I failed to acknowledge that I got those two opportunities. So I was feeling bad. And last December, the end of your things, and you recollect everything and you kind of do a retrospection. So in that phase, I decided I'm going to take these 6 months and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to work for it. And that's when I compiled all those insights and feedbacks that I got from the strangers on the internet who've been extremely helpful. Sometimes, I mean, if you get lucky, of course. In that sense, I realized people, those strangers actually made me realize that I am a very qualified person to get that job done, get that project done, get a goal accomplished. I didn't realize it before myself. I thought it was quite normal to people for people to have two rejections, but that is not the perspective I should have seen it. I should have seen it from the perspective of of other candidates, of other people who are working towards it. And in that sense, I'm actually a pretty qualified people. I'm a pretty qualified person, and two rejections is nothing compared. I have had two rejections is something I should be proud of, because getting those two rejections meant that I had already also got two opportunities to express myself, to actually put myself out there as a qualified candidate, and they had only offered me those two opportunities because they thought I'm qualified. And in the first opportunity, it was not on me, and they explained how the process worked, and I couldn't be, uh, I couldn't get that goal done. And in the second opportunity, it was actually on my part. I didn't do my part well, even though I was qualified. I was distracted. I was not focusing on what I should do, so I missed that opportunity. But now looking back, I realized I should have worked harder on the second one, and maybe now I think I'm working towards better things. I thought maybe it was for the good that I missed that, because the opportunity wasn't exactly perfect for me personally. So I'm now okay with missing that, because now I'm working towards better goals and better opportunities. Those two rejections were necessary to let me know uh, what could go wrong if I were given the right, perfect opportunity. So those were like trials, and even though I still feel bad about missing them, I'm now used to waiting, because this project takes time. It takes months, and for some people it takes years, but that is unusual depending on personal timelines. But it usually takes months, and I'm earlier I was very impatient. I wanted to get it done, so I didn't pay attention to the process and every methodology involved in it. So I wasn't paying attention to anything else. I just wanted to get it done, so I did everything. That was wrong. Now I'm focusing. I'm uh, like I said, redefining success for me was understanding that I was able to get those two opportunities in the first place. 1 year ago, I wouldn't even have imagined working towards this goal, um, or even getting those two opportunities. Now I'm like, I can say out loud that I got those two opportunities, and I messed one up myself. I'm not even embarrassed, or I don't hesitate before saying that. I'm like, that is a great thing to do. You actually got those opportunities, and now I'm proud of myself. That is how you redefine success, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're applying for jobs, when you're getting something done. Maybe even in family, you take up a project, you're organizing something. The fact that you're doing it after all these years, after everything you have gone through as a person, you are there and you're getting it done. You should be so proud of yourself that you can even claim that I have failed something, in the sense that you should be proud that you actually tried it and then failed. You actually had the opportunity. You can say that you did that. It doesn't matter if you failed, you did that. That should be your success. And that is how you redefine success, when you're persisting, when you're fighting through those setbacks and everything. So the next would be the power of persistence. Okay, so power of persistence is nothing but being stable, emotionally well, physically well. When you're persisting, it builds character. I'm telling you, when you put a lot of effort into something and you fail, and as a person, when you get back up means you're again working towards the goal after some time, again working towards the next application or whatever the next step in your process is. That is persistence. That is, getting back up. That is how you define success also. When you're able to do that, that is where you find the strength. That builds so much character. Once you grow up, when you're little, or when you're in college, when you were a kid, or however uh, much time it takes for you to uh, go back to see the kid you were, to see the person who did not know much about the world, who did not know much about the real world scenario, you would realize that you hadn't faced any problems at all. You didn't know what every opportunity meant. You would have missed a lot of opportunities. You wouldn't have placed much importance to anything in the past. But now, when you're actually placing so much importance on something, or when you're expecting something to happen, or when you're working towards something, you place so much importance on that. And when you fail, you that would take so much life out of you, because you know that when you actually succeed, it's going to mean so much that when you fail, it's going to mean it's going to take double the amount of effort from you to actually recover. And that is where you find the power of persistence. If I have to phrase it, it's not the right phrase, but if you had to say, so every other minor setbacks that you're going to face after the major thing that happened, and whatever small inconvenience that you would face at work or at any place of work, in your occupation or anything, that would not move you at all. You would be so strong that you won't even realize that it takes strength to actually tackle those little challenges. They would not amount to anything at all. But for others who have not been, experienced this kind of setbacks or rejections, they might find it a little more inconvenient, a little more difficult to face those challenges. But you would be just going through it like it's nothing. So if you are able to persist, if you're able to move on to the next one, if you're able to grow out of the feeling of rejection, that is where the power comes from. And while it might take your entire strength to get back out of that rejection, remember and be proud that you did that. You actually got back up. That is even more. That says a lot more to about you as a person. You cannot, of course, advertise it. You cannot go on saying, "Hey, I failed, but I still got up." But you can say to people that I failed and I got it done. Maybe you leave out the part of all the emotional turmoil, physical turmoil. But when you're saying it, it shows that you went through something and it amounts to a lot than you think. So that is the power of,
Vaishnav,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So, speaking of work environment, so when we are having a setback, so like other than the career setbacks, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking about what if some criticism or some feedback give
Mm-hmm.
you a major setback that you question moving forward or continuing with the flow?
Come again.
So,
What do you rejection?
so have you faced any situation like that, like in work environment or anywhere? So a constructive, may be it as a constructive criticism or a feedback, but
Mm.
make you question yourself that whether you could move forward with something else or you have to continue with the same. And how did you tackle it, or how would you suggest to tackle it?
Criticism, they always criticism at the first instance they always hurt, whether it be constructive criticism, whatever the nature of the criticism. You only identify the nature of the criticism after a day of after some time. Only then you reflect and understand. Oh, it's constructive or it's destructive. So we cannot exactly at the instance we will not be in the position or we will not be in the mindset to actually put the tag on it. The first instance that you face a criticism, you take it as an attack. You take like, why is this person saying this to me? What have I done wrong? mm, Mostly it will not be constructive. Constructive criticism is very hard to come by because the people you work with, they don't have to necessarily care about you. So their perspective of you as a coworker will be easily, that's what they would try to convey. Maybe they might not word it correctly. They may not phrase it correctly, not the right words or anything. So the moment you hear it, the first thought would be, wow, this is, they are attacking me. So you would consider it as an aside, not necessarily a personal attack, but something, it's negative and that's what you feel. But when you understand where they are coming from, you would gain the perspective of the criticism itself. You would try to understand if you actually did something wrong, or if it's just a personal opinion of them. So the first thing would be to identify that. When I received negative criticism, I thought maybe they don't understand me well. Maybe they didn't, maybe it'll take some time for them to understand me. My first reaction was not to even sit down and reflect. My first reaction was to blame it on them to not have understood me well. In that sense, that is wrong, of course. And later I realized maybe they are right. Maybe if they're not 100% right, maybe they're like partially right. Maybe if that is what they expect, if that is what is going to be working in this environment, maybe I should try and be more like what they expect me to be. But in every criticism I face, in every setback, I try to maintain, I try to not lose my sense of self. To me, Vaishnavi is made of certain morals, certain ideals, certain work ethics, not necessarily work ethics, generally ethics. So I have those ethics set for me. How much ever I change to the circumstances or to the person that I'm working with or the work environment, how much ever criticism I'm facing to for something, if it is right, I will take it to myself, I will correct it. But if it is wrong too, I would take a moment to think if it's actually wrong or if it's just I'm just defending myself. But in both the cases, I would make sure that if I'm changing for the right reason and I'm not changing my entire personality or my entire uh, morale to fit into something, to fit into the expectations of others. And it is okay to change, it is okay to adapt, but make sure when you're adapting or when you're reacting to a criticism, you don't lose that sense of yourself. You have a certain sense like, I should not be doing this, I should be doing this, something that forms the core of your entire existence. There are core values that were taught as children, when you were taught in college, or when you accumulated certain characteristics of yourself, good qualities that you believe would form the you know ideology of your existence. If those ideas are getting tainted, or if you're willing to change those ideas, then maybe think twice, because criticism is not worth like changing your entire personality to fit into something. Because when you, at any point in time, you will be subjected to leaving that scenario or leaving those circumstances or leaving those people around you. So make sure you're not changing for temporarily or for this temporary setup of environment. I hope I made sense. Okay. So that is what I try to do. I always make sure that I'm not uh, distracting myself in the process of changing. But I've changed a lot. I take criticism, or I self-criticize myself, saying that this is how someone reacted to you doing something. So maybe tone it down next time, or use better words. That is how I try and tell myself whenever I get a negative reaction from people. So yeah, that's how I face criticism.
Well explained. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So the next would be support systems and self-belief. I have talked about this a lot, even as in this session. Self-belief is very important. If you do not have the support system at home or at work, it does not matter, because people are always saying that you should surround yourself with the best of friends, with the best of coworkers, and that is not always the case. People might be apprehensive, people might not be used to you doing something or trying something new, so they might just be trying to protect you, and they might not be entirely supportive in the process. But that is also fine. If you can find supportive people, that is perfect. But if you're not able to, people, if the others or if your family is not taking an interest in your process, that is also fine. That is one case. The next is people not being supportive because they are protective. So in the best interests of you, they are doing that. But maybe for you, this project or this process could be important. In that case, you are your support system. You keep motivating yourself, you keep working towards it, you build a discipline. Your self belief that you can get it done will take you so far. I am The project that I'm currently working on takes so much out of me, so much effort. Every day I would just return back from home, and I would return back from work, and I would open my laptop, I would get to it. But at one point in time last month, I felt so low. I thought maybe I couldn't do it, maybe I'm not qualified to. Even after getting those two rejections, I was not getting another opportunity anytime soon. I knew that, so immediately I thought I was not qualified. That like, Vaishnavi can't do this. But I realized all throughout all these years, the one thing that has always been with me was my self-confidence. When people would talk about building self-confidence, when people would talk about, reading books for self-confidence or how to reinvent yourself, I never had a problem with being confident with myself. That was never my thing, but it was something I was also proud of it. Vaishnavi is always self-confidence. Why I'd want, even when I was younger, I didn't understand why people are struggling with self-confidence until I experienced it minorly in last month. I realized maybe I'm not made out for this. That's when I hit myself in the head and I told, no, this is not what you think. You have never thought like this. And if I had thought about this earlier, I would not have been able to come to this level to be even sitting here and talking to you. I would not be able to have done that if I didn't have my self-confidence. Self-confidence will not be something that I would struggle with. And I told myself, Vaishnavi, this is not something you struggle with. You've always been confident with yourself. Whether you were able to do it or not, you always had the confidence that you can do it if you set your mind to. So that kind of self-belief is very important. Even if the numbers say that you can't do it, believe that you can do it. And if you can't do it, believe that you have the strength, the potential to work towards rectifying whatever is wrong, to work towards whatever is holding you back, and then get it done. It doesn't always, like, it is not always the end goal that should give you the confidence. Like, achieving that end goal is not the matter here. You should believe that you have the potential to work towards it, to practice it and then get it done. That is what self belief is to me. So that is also part of persisting. So the next one is like adapting and learning from challenges, which is also something I've talked about. And when I do something wrong, when I'm not uh, like I'm not doing something right, this is wrong, and or if it's not enough, I learn I learned the right way to do it. Like I said, I took it to Reddit. You could ask anyone around you. In my context, Reddit was more helpful. But in your context, it could be anything. If it were just books, it is okay. Allow yourself some time to familiarize yourself with the process or whatever it takes for you to qualify. You should give that space and time to not, excuse me, to not just think about achieving the end goal. That should not be the only thing in your mind. Your goal should be crafting yourself as the best person who could accomplish that goal. In all of the around the world, you should be the best person who get it done. That is what you should be working towards. It's not just the end goal of accomplishing it. If you take a month to work towards it, in my case, it took a few weeks. Few weeks is a long time for me in the context of the whole process taking a few months. A few weeks is a large amount of time for me to just not work towards, not just think about accomplishing the job, but to just um, grow myself, to practice, to learn the things that are needed to accomplish that goal. So take that time, take the space, and not think about just the end goal, but uh, develop yourself as a person who can achieve the goal. That is what you should be focusing for a few amount of time. So yeah, that is about that. The last one is celebrating the journey. Like I said, earlier I wasn't in the right mindset. I was feeling very low. I was feeling stressful. I actually developed anxiety through this process. Earlier, I did not know what anxiety was. I have heard people talk about it. I know the definitions that people would be feeling anxious. I never experienced it myself until this process started. And I, because there's a lot at stake here for me to, when I achieve this goal, it's going to mean so much to me. It's going to mean the entire world to me. I'd be like, done. This is Vaishnavi. This is what you deserve. And there's nothing more that could bring you more joy than this. That is how I feel about this goal. So when there is a lot involved here, um, I forgot to celebrate. I forgot that I'm working towards it. I didn't, the only thing that mattered to me was achieving the goal. So I didn't realize that I'm actually working towards something so big. And I didn't celebrate it. I developed anxiety, I developed stress, and I realized I'm not doing well at all. I was actually overeating. So there were a lot of issues involved. And now, in the last 2 months, say in the last few days, let's say 45 or 50 days, I've been doing so well because I recognized myself. I gave myself the right, pat on the back and everything. And I acknowledged that this is going to take time. It is going to take the emotional, it's going to take so much from you emotionally. And it is not the right way. This is not the right way to deal with this process. You have to be calm and you have to think right. You have to take breaks. And so that is how I'm currently celebrating the journey that I'm on. So that pretty much says everything about everything I've done in the last few months. Yeah, so that is why I wanted to talk about persistence, because now I'm stable. Now I'm understanding what persistence actually mean. Earlier, I just thought it's just, holding on till you get something done. But now it means so much than just holding on. It means being okay, being healthier, and going through your everyday routine without being disturbed, without being distracted, without being stressful, without being anxious. Yeah, that is what persistence means to me. And that is how I wanted to conclude this little talk I had. So, yeah, if you had anything to offer, if you have any questions, this is the time.
Um, Excellent question. So it's very completely and perfectly explains how one can, what I can say, yeah, how one can overcome the setbacks and whatever the criticism and feedbacks,
Hmm.
and have their own support system, which may help someone into moving forward. So before concluding, are there any questions from the audience? Sri Lakshmi and Akriti, I guess.
No questions from my end. Thank you for sharing your experiences. It was great listening to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sri
So Sri
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi, how did you feel the insights would be helpful in your career or whatever in your journey?
So, like we are humans. We face rejections at different points of time. So, hearing her story, inspired me to be more persevering and to persist, and also address challenges in a calm manner, and also take rejections as redirections, rather than be sad about it. So, like, even I also I have also faced rejections while I was doing my job search. And I used to get very anxious whether I will get or not, or when I used to face rejection, I used to feel very sad. Oh, I have put in that much effort and it didn't, like, I did not see success. So, like, but then, when you persevere, what happens is that maybe something better comes along. So you shouldn't lose your hope, and just have the faith that something better will come, and work towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing. And also, I'm glad, I'm so happy that you were able to take away a few things from this session. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi.
Vaishnavi, what I think is like these sessions or whatever the insights which you are sharing and from your experience would really help for those are going to attend the interviews, because for the behavioral interview questions, the answers or the insights which we have given are much more useful and are relatable, and they would like majorly impact the impression or whatever a person is going through and whatever the person is going to explain or present himself. So thank you for sharing all these insights and preparing a list from your experience and the challenges which you are facing.
Yeah, I'm also grateful for this opportunity to talk about this. And thank you for hosting this.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, so much for taking out your time and sharing your experience and insights. Thank you. Thank you all for attending this session. And I'm looking forward for upcoming sessions from Vaishnavi for next month. Maybe she is going to come up with some other topic which would really useful. I don't know about the audience, but the insights and the points are really useful for me and who's going to attend the interviews as soon as.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Vaishnavi. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.